Welcome back to the Spread Pick'em show. Normally with Mike and Andrew. No Andrew this week, so you're stuck with just me, unfortunately. So we have the Week 9 picks. Andrew sent me his picks, so I'll kind of just read off what he has, and I'll give my opinions, and we'll get through the video. So let's start, as always, with the week prior review. So week number 8. I think me and Andrew had the same record, actually. So it's funny. Andrew always goes on these runs. He won 3 in a row. He won 4 in a row. And then he ended his week losing 5 in a row. So I was kind of just like win, loss, win, loss. So anyway, I took the Cardinals on Thursday night. Got the loss there. They flat out lost that game, so that was embarrassing. Both took Buffalo, got the win. Both took the Panthers, got the win. I took Pittsburgh, got the win. He took Cleveland, got the loss. I took the Bengals, got the loss. That game sucked because the Bengals were literally up 11 like halfway through the fourth quarter, and I was feeling good. And then Joe Burrow throws a pick, and then, Mike White just pulls out some magic, and the Jets won. So anyway, we both took the Colts. That was a close one, of course. Went to overtime, I believe. We got the loss there, though. Both took Philly. That was an easy one. I took Chicago, got the loss. He took the 49ers, got the win. Both took the Rams. We just got away with that one. I think I actually took on Sunday morning, I took a different spread of 17.5, and Houston actually covered that. So they had a great backdoor in that game. The final score was 37-22 or something. So good job by the Texans on the backdoor there if you took them. We both took Seattle. They flat out won that game by a lot. I feel like it was 24-7 maybe. Both took the Chargers. They flat out lost that game, so got the loss there. Both took Tampa. They lost that game outright. I took the Broncos. They won that game, of course. He took Washington. We both took the Vikings. That was the wrong pick, of course. Dallas is just, they're good. I don't know what else I can say about them. Yes, I'm a Giants fan, but I have to admit, Dallas is just up and down a good team. I mean, is their defense perfect? No, but they just find their way, even with Cooper Rush. And it probably says a lot about Minnesota, too. They got to win that game, of course, but Dallas Cowboys have impressed me so far. And on Monday night, I took the Giants. They, of course, lost in heartbreaking fashion, as usual. And he took the Chiefs. So overall, we're now 59, 61, and 2. Still tied, still below 500. Hoping it gets better. Hopefully this is the week where I at least go for 500. Hopefully Andrew still stays below 500. But anyway, let's get into week number 9. For Thursday night football, we have the New York Jets at the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are a minus 10.5 at home here, of course. Now, the Jets, of course, coming off their big win. I'm sure this number could have been probably at 14 or so if the Jets lost last week. So I feel like we're getting some points here. Indy has looked pretty good recently. Their offense is clicking. Their defense is losing some pieces. I think both their safeties are out, Willis and Julian Blackmon. So their secondary is a bit beat up, but do I really expect Mike White to have another 400-yard game? I don't, and I think defenses will start to figure out the Jets' offense, how Mike White is literally only passing to his running backs and Jamison Crowder. I feel like the Jets' offense should be figured out. Now, as for the Colts' offense, they should be able to run on the Jets' defense. The Jets' run defense is not that great. Jonathan Taylor has been awesome recently for the Colts' run game, so they should control this game, control the time of possession. And I feel like Indianapolis, they should have won this game by around 10 plus. And I guess there's a chance the Jets can compete on the road here. I'm just not expecting it. So with that being said, it is a big spread, but I'm going to take Indy. Now, I will say, me and Andrew usually differ on Thursday night games, and I lose every single time. So I personally feel better that I'm with Andrew on this game. So hopefully I get this right, because Andrew has been good on Thursday nights. So hopefully the Colts find a way to win this one by 11 or more. For Sunday's games, we start out with a game that nobody probably wants to watch. The Houston Texans at the Miami Dolphins. I think both these teams have combined 2 wins. I'm pretty sure they're both 1-win teams. So not the best game on the slate here. Anyway, Miami's a 6.5 point favorite at home. There's no reason to have any faith in Houston right now. The only way that they're going to cover spreads is by the back door, and that's possible, of course. We saw it last week with the Rams. Now, there is a chance Tyrod Taylor comes back. It's not a guarantee, but there's a chance. So if Tyrod Taylor's back, that will help the Houston Texans a lot. And in the 1.5 games that Tyrod played, the Texans actually looked like a pretty half-decent team. Now, coming back from a 6-week absence, it might be tough for Tyrod to come in right away and be the same guy he was, but it's Tyrod Taylor coming back, not Russell Wilson. So with that being said, I think Miami's offense puts up a lot here. Devontae Parker came back last week, got 11 targets, I believe, and Jalen Waddle had 12 targets. We know Mike Gesicki's been involved here, so I think Miami's offense puts up near 30 points, maybe more. I'm a big fan of Tua Tagovailoa for a fantasy streamer this week, so I think Miami's offense puts up points. points, and Houston has a tough time scoring, obviously. So with that being said, 6.5 is a lot for a Miami team because they're not that good, but Houston's that bad. So I will take Miami, and so will Andrew. Next, we have the Denver Broncos at the Dallas Cowboys. Of course, Denver makes a trade, trading away Von Miller for the second and third round pick. This is probably probably the Broncos' first game without Von Miller on their roster since, like 2010 maybe, like a long time. So a little different there for Denver. Now, I'm taking Denver. Andrew's going to take Dallas. Now, Dallas is a -10 here. Maybe the spread has changed. And my thinking is this. Dak Prescott, of course, was not healthy enough to play last week in their opinion. I think Dak Prescott may be relegated to only being a pocket passer, which is fine, of course. But Denver has a really good secondary. Their pass defense has been really good so far. I think it's like a top 5 pass defense in football. And Vic Fangio, you can say what you want about him as a head coach. His defensive scheme has worked, and that's why he got the head coaching job in the first place. So I do have some faith that Denver's secondary can limit Dak Prescott, who is once again not at 100%. And, Denver's rush defense, I feel like they have not been that great. But if you can stop Dallas's passing offense and you make them run every time, then, I feel like they'll have a tough time winning by 10 or more. And as for the Broncos offense, they have weapons. I mean, Jerry Jeudy came back last week. They still have Courtland Sutton and Tim Patrick. And I think Trayvon Diggs has an ankle sprain. So I'm not saying that Trayvon Diggs is like Jalen Ramsey, but he's the best corner on Dallas. So if he's out of this game and you have all these great weapons for the Broncos, I think Teddy Bridgewater should be able to put up points on a secondary that's not that good. So, I could see this being like a not 21-14, but like a 27-20 type game. And, in that, if that were to happen, of course, the Broncos would cover. So I think 10's too many points. Yes, I could see Dallas winning by a lot, but I think the Broncos at least have some dignity here, and they shouldn't lose by that many points. And actually, Andrew's taking Dallas. I forgot to say that, I think. So I'm taking Denver. Andrew's taking Dallas. Next, we have an AFC North matchup, the Cleveland Browns at the Cincinnati Bengals, two teams that are pretty tough to understand right now. I mean, Cincinnati was literally the number 1 seed in the AFC, and they go out and lose to the Jets. So, I mean, it's tough to tell. Cleveland lost a in-division game last week, I believe. They played the Steelers, right? So they played the Steelers last week, and they lost. They look just lost on offense in general. A lot of it has to do with the Baker Mayfield injury, I will say. I mean, I think Baker's better than this, and I'm sure the injury is hurting him a lot. Odell Beckham mispracticed today because they basically said Odell's not part of the team anymore. So Odell might get released. We'll find out what happens there, but I'm not really expecting Odell to play right now. Not that it matters anyway, because they barely target him in the first place. So not the best situation there. Anyway, I'm still taking Cleveland for this reason. I feel like Cincinnati's run defense has not been that great. Their yards per carry has been fine, but like their run defense and how they've been guarding running backs has not been that great in general. And Nick Chubb is still one of the better backs in football. And yes, Cleveland's missing their right tackle and Jack Conklin, but if they can get some type of push from their offensive line, which they should be able to. They still have like 3 or 4 good offensive linemen despite losing Conklin. I think they'll be fine. They should be able to control this game more. And as we know, I don't know why this is the case, Baker Mayfield's better when Odell Beckham's not on the field. It makes no sense. I still believe Odell is the most talented Cleveland receiver, but for some reason, Baker plays better when Jarvis Landry's his number 1 receiver. So maybe Baker has a bounce back here. And this is a game that I honestly had no clue who to pick, but I'm going with Cleveland. I'm going to take the points. If it was Cleveland -2.5, I probably would have taken Cincinnati. So this game is so tight in my opinion. I'm just going to go with the points here and take Cleveland. Andrew will take Cincinnati. And actually, Cincinnati's one of Andrew's favorite bets this week as well. I forgot to mention one of my favorite bets. One of my 2 favorite bets is the Miami Dolphins -6.5. So he has the Bengals in this matchup. So next we have the Minnesota Vikings at the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore's a -6 here in this spot, coming off their bye. Minnesota's coming off a game. Well, they should have won that game because when you get a gift of Dak Prescott being inactive right before the game, you should win. So not a good look there for Minnesota, but I'm still going to pick Minnesota here. I think this is going to be a close game. This feels like one of those games where it could end on like a game-winning field goal. I still think Baltimore wins, and, Baltimore is better coached, and Mike Zimmer, this might be his final year if things don't change there for Minnesota. But the thing about Baltimore is their secondary is not as good as it has been in the past, and I feel like this might be a Justin Jefferson game. I'm not like too keen on Adam Thielen this week because I feel like unless Thielen finds the end zone, he hasn't been that great this year. So I think this is a big Justin Jefferson week. And, hopefully Dalvin Cook gets more involved. He had like no catches last week, I believe. It was all rushing yards. So Dalvin Cook has to get more involved here. But Baltimore, they're a good team, but like they also could have had two or three more losses easily. So Baltimore, I do respect them, of course, and what they have going on and how injured they are, but I do think their record could be a bit deceiving here. Now, as for Minnesota, they played in a lot of close games this year. Once again, they should have won on Sunday night or Monday night, whenever that was. I think Sunday night in that game against Dallas. But Minnesota should not be this bad to the point where they are a +6. So I will take the points there. I think it's a close game once again, but Andrew's going to go against me here. He'll take the Baltimore Ravens. Next, we have the Las Vegas Raiders at the New York Giants. Las Vegas is only a -3. So, of course, Las Vegas having that terrible news about Henry Ruggs, and he's been released from the team, and things are not looking good for him. So that's probably gonna be weird to deal with for them. It's already a weird season with John Gruden being fired or let go or resigning, in week 4, week 5, whenever that was. So a weird season for Las Vegas, but. Anyway, the Giants have some issues of their own. The Giants are a very injured team. Their left tackle, Andrew Thomas, is still out. Saquon Barkley is on the COVID list. The Giants have a few other guys missing practice due to COVID, and the Giants they can't have a normal practice right now because of all this COVID stuff. And honestly, the Giants have been okay recently, but I just feel like Las Vegas is the better team, and Las Vegas can get big plays on offense. The Giants don't have the best slot coverage, and I'm sure Hunter Renfrow will have like 10 catches for 80 yards in this game and keep moving the sticks on third and short situations. So I like the potential here for Las Vegas' offense. And honestly, the Raiders have a defensive line that's one of the best in pressure rate, and the Giants' pass blocking sucks. So with that being said, Daniel Jones will probably have a long day and be on his ass a lot or have to get the ball out quickly. So I'm going to take Las Vegas there. Andrew is going to take the Giants. So hopefully he's right. I would like to win this game, of course, but I just think Las Vegas has such an advantage with the pass rush versus the Giants' offensive line. So I'm going to go with Las Vegas with that one. Next, we have another in-division matchup, the Atlanta Falcons at the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans is a -6 despite missing their starting quarterback, Jameis Winston, out for the year with the ACL injury. They're still a -6 here at home. Now, coming off that big win against the Buccaneers, I could see that. Atlanta's coming off a bad loss against a Panthers team that's not very good, so I get why the spread is this way. Now, Jameis Winston's gone. Calvin Ridley, the wide receiver 1, if you're not including Kyle Pitts, but he's the wide receiver 1 technically for Atlanta. He's probably not going to play in this game for personal reasons, we'll call it, so don't expect Calvin Ridley here. Anyway, if the Saints can put Marshawn Lattimore on Kyle Pitts, that can probably help take him out of the game. But the thing about the Saints this year is that they're very weird when it comes to the spread, and I feel like I'm trying to figure it out here. So every time the Saints are favored, you don't take them. Every time the Saints are underdogs, you do take them. I feel like that formula has worked so far this year, and I'm going to stick with that. I don't think Atlanta's that good, but 6 points is a lot, and this is an in-division matchup, and anything can happen. It's a team. Atlanta's a dome team going to play on the road in a dome, so it's not like a big difference. Yes, the crowd noise will impact it, but still, I think Atlanta can hopefully stick around in this game enough, and we don't know if it's Taysom Hill at quarterback or Trevor Siemian, so, I have no idea what to expect from the Saints offense right now. So with that said, I'll take the points, and I'll take Atlanta. Andrew's going to take the Saints here. Next, we have the Buffalo Bills at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Buffalo's a -14.5. I'm taking Buffalo. Andrew's going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars here. Jacksonville might be without their starting running back, James Robinson, who's been very good this year, so I think that will impact them. Jacksonville's receivers, I felt like did nothing last week against a bad Seattle secondary. Now, Seattle secondary is bad. Buffalo literally has the best secondary in football right now, so this might be a tough game for Trevor Lawrence. Going to be a tough matchup here. I expect Lawrence to have a turnover or two in this game. That definitely influences my decision with taking the Bills. And the Bills' offense against the Jaguars' defense, it's going to be easy. I mean, Jacksonville literally can't guard the slot, and Cole Beasley is one of the better slot receivers in football. I expect a big week out of Beasley, and we know what Stephon Diggs brings to the table, and Zach Moss and all these other guys. Dawson Knox, the tight end, may come back this week for Buffalo. So, Buffalo usually kills bad teams, and Jacksonville's a bad team. So I know it's on the road, and 14 and a half points is a lot, but I'm still going Buffalo because even last week in a game where the score was literally 7-7 in the fourth quarter between Miami and Buffalo. Buffalo still covered their 14-point spread. So it's like it doesn't matter. They always find a way to beat these bad teams by a lot of points, and I'm going to stick with that. So I'll take Buffalo. Next, we have the New England Patriots at the Carolina Panthers. New England's a -4. We're both going to take the Patriots here. Don't know who the quarterback is for Carolina right now. It could be P.J. Walker, could be Sam Darnold, and Sam Darnold's coming off a concussion. Christian McCaffrey might be back. He's practicing, I saw, so McCaffrey, their best weapon on offense, may be back. Now, if McCaffrey's not back, I am very much concerned for the Panthers because, as we know, Bill Belichick loves taking out a number one option on a team's offense, and if they can take out DJ Moore and make Robbie Anderson and Ian Thomas beat them, I feel pretty good about the Patriots' odds here. Now, the Panthers' defense is good, but New England also has a very good offensive line. They can run the ball. Mac Jones is okay. He's serviceable. He's fine. So, I like New England here. I mean, 4 point. I would much rather have it at 2.5 or 3. I would much rather have that field goal, but still, 4 points is not a ton here. And Carolina, I don't know who their quarterback is right now. I trust the genius of Bill Belichick against Sam Darnold, who he's very familiar with, having played with the Jets for 3 years, or playing against P.J. Walker might be even better. So, I'm trusting Belichick. I'll take the Patriots there, and so is Andrew. Next, we have a very fishy spread here. The Los Angeles Chargers at the Philadelphia Eagles. Los Angeles is only a -1.5, which is pretty surprising because I feel like if you made this spread a couple weeks ago, it would have been Chargers -6.5. So I don't know why this is -1.5. I saw that Justin Herbert was limited, I believe, at practice with a hand injury. Maybe that's impacting this spread. I don't know. But it doesn't make sense. I understand, maybe, I feel like as humans, as fans of football, we sometimes overreact to what we just saw, the recency bias. But, still, I mean, I know that the Chargers just lost a home game to New England. I know that the Eagles just beat the crap out of the Lions, but it's the Lions. I don't really care. I expected that to happen. Doesn't mean I respect the Eagles a whole lot more. So, I don't know. The Chargers have a very good pass defense. I don't really expect Jalen Hurts to do much through the air, but they can run the ball. Now, if they had Miles Sanders, I probably would have felt better about Philadelphia, but he's on the IR. It's Boston Scott. It's Jordan Howard. It's a little bit of Kenneth Gainwell. So the run game is probably not going to be as good as it could have been if Miles Sanders was healthy. But as for the Chargers offense, I mean, Philly's secondary has been good this year, but I just feel like Justin Herbert is so much more talented than Jalen Hurts. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but from what I've seen, I think Justin Herbert's a whole lot better. So I think they'll find a way to beat this Philly defense. I could see a scenario where the Chargers go out and win this game by a lot, 10+ type, a 10 to 14 point type of win. So I don't know. I have no idea why it's -1.5. It feels like a trap, but I'm going to fall for it. So I'm going to take the Chargers. So is Andrew. Andrew actually has the Chargers as one of his favorite bets. I actually forgot to mention I'm taking Atlanta as a favorite bet as well. So he has the Chargers there for one of his favorite bets, and we're both going to go with them. Next, we have another in-division matchup. The Arizona Cardinals are at the San Francisco 49ers. Arizona's coming off that mini-bye, having played on Thursday. Arizona's a -1 here, so it's pretty close, honestly, almost a pick 'em. So I'm going to take the 49ers. Andrew will take the Cardinals. Now, the reason I'm taking the 49ers is because I feel like they're finally starting to figure things out. They looked really good last week. I know the Bears hung around there for 3 quarters, but they finally started to find their groove. And Jimmy Garoppolo, played pretty well on Sunday. He wasn't that bad. He was finding open guys. There was a chance George Kittle comes back. I'm not counting on it, but that would definitely help a lot. And as for Arizona, they're not very healthy right now. I mean, Kyler Murray has an ankle injury or a knee injury, I believe, and that always concerns me, of course, for a dual threat type quarterback. I think DeAndre Hopkins had a hamstring issue, so I don't know if he's 100%. This Cardinals offense just does not look as good as it has the first month of the season. Something's been off with that team recently, so this might be a big game for San Fran here if they can get the win, of course. Now, these teams played a few weeks ago. Trey Lance got his first NFL start in that game, and I think the score was only 17-10. So, remember in that game, Trey Lance got stood up at the goal line. He was this close to scoring, so if he gets in the end zone there, that game probably would have went to overtime or would have been much closer. So these teams may be closer than we think. So with that being said, I'm going to take San Fran. They're the home team. I'm a little concerned about Kyler Murray's health right now, even DeAndre Hopkins. So it should be a fun game, but I'll take San Fran. He's going to take Arizona in this one. So Next, we have the Green Bay Packers without Aaron Rodgers at the Kansas City Chiefs. And due to that, Kansas City is now a -7.5, but we're both going to take the Chiefs here. I mean, the whole Aaron Rodgers thing is very weird. I mean, he was telling people he was vaccinated, but he's not vaccinated. It was some other thing. I have no idea. So anyway, Aaron Rodgers is not expected to play this game. It could be Jordan Love. It could be Blake Bortles. I don't know who it's going to be. I really don't care. It's a tough environment to play at Kansas City. I just saw my Giants go there, and, it's a tough place to play. It's a very loud place, and for a young quarterback, whether it's Love or whether it's Blake Bortles, I don't like that combination either way. So I'm going to take the Chiefs here. Green Bay's defense has been pretty good recently, I feel like. And, especially on Thursday night against the Cardinals when they needed their defense to step up, they did. And they've been good for the past, honestly, ever since week 1 when they had the Saints put up 38 against them. But outside of that 1 week, the Green Bay defense has been good, but I feel like the Chiefs are just ready to break out at some point. Of course, Travis Kelce had a bad game against the Giants on Monday night. I feel like he might have a big spot here. And Green Bay is not guaranteed to get Devontae Adams back. Robert Tonyan's now out for the season. There's no Aaron Rodgers. I just don't know how they put up a lot of points in this matchup. Honestly, as bad as Kansas City's defense has been this year, it's a whole different thing without Aaron Rodgers here. So, I mean, they were able to get by last week without Adams, but losing Rodgers is a whole lot different. So, with that being said, we'll both take Kansas City. Yes, 7.5 is a lot. 7.5 is a lot of points here, but we'll take Kansas City. For Sunday Night Football, we have the Tennessee Titans at the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are a -7.5, and we're both going to go with LA here. So, Tennessee, of course, has a weird situation where Derrick Henry was the guy that this offense ran through, and now he's going to be out for a long time. And it's going to be Jeremy McNichols and Adrian Peterson to try and make up for the loss of Derrick Henry. Now, Julio Jones is practicing, but there's no guarantee he plays. I feel like he has been practicing, but hasn't played recently, so that's no guarantee. Now, as for the Rams, they are rolling right now. They've had like 3 or 4 easy matchups in a row. They played like Houston. They played, who they just play? Houston. I feel like they played Jacksonville. They played the Giants. They've had a lot of easy games recently, but this is now a tough matchup here. But the Rams offense looks so good right now. I just don't want to bet against them. And it's not like Tennessee has that great of a defense. They're definitely beatable. And with Sean McVay and the way that Matthew Stafford's playing right now, Matthew Stafford may be the MVP leader right now. Like, that's how good he's playing. So, I don't think Tennessee's defense can stop him. I mean, Harold Landry's been good on the pass rush for them, but, even Jeffrey Simmons has been fine for them, of course, but I just don't think that's enough to kind of get Stafford, like, off balance here and make bad decisions. I think they'll be fine. Their offensive line's been good so far for the Rams, so I like the Rams offense a lot, and I feel like Tennessee may be searching for something here. A.J. Brown will probably be covered by Jalen Ramsey most of the game, if not all the games. So their best offensive weapon is going to be out, not out, but they're going to have Jalen Ramsey on him, who's the best cornerback in football probably. So that's a concern for me. So we'll both take the Rams here. We'll see what happens there without Derrick Henry. And on Monday Night Football, we had the Chicago Bears at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Matt Nagy probably should be back coming off the COVID absence, but, hopefully he misses another game. That'd be good for us. Pittsburgh's a -6.5. We're both going to take Chicago here. I mean, my reasoning is simple. I think 6.5 is too much for a Pittsburgh offense. That's not a good offense. That's the way I look at it. So Chicago still has somewhat of a pass rush. I think they should be fine there. Their secondary is really not that good, but still, I mean, 6.5 is a lot for a Steelers offense, honestly. Chicago actually surprisingly has a good run blocking offensive line. So if they can get Khalil Herbert 20 to 25 carries and he gets 90 to 100 something yards, that should be fine. They should be able to move the ball. And Justin Fields actually looked good last week. He made some really impressive plays, and they finally opened up the playbook for him, and he was fine. So if they can get the good version of Justin Fields, I feel good about this matchup. If Fields plays like he did against Tampa or the weeks before that, I won't feel as good, but I feel like maybe they figured something out here, so we're probably getting a good number here if you're betting on Chicago. I don't have the most faith in Pittsburgh right now. Of course, Pittsburgh can beat them by a lot, especially at home, but that's too much right now. I mean, it's basically winning by a touchdown, so I don't see Pittsburgh being that type of team. And I feel like every time the Steelers have won a game this year, it's been by a few points. They beat Cleveland by not many. They beat Seattle by 3 points. They beat Week 1, they beat Buffalo by 6 or 7. Like, they have not won a game by like 7 or more points this year, I feel like. So the Steelers don't have too many big wins, and maybe the Steelers win by 3, 4, 5 points. I just don't see 6.5 being enough for me to be like, oh yeah, I'll take the Steelers. So anyway, I'll take Chicago, and so is Andrew. So once again, our favorite bets, my two. I have Miami minus 6.5, and I also have the Falcons plus 6. Andrew has the Bengals minus 2.5, and also has the Chargers minus 1.5. So that will do it. Hopefully everyone enjoyed this video. Hopefully Andrew is back next week, and I will talk to you guys next time.